All right, so today's deep dive is going to be a little bit different. We're
Okay.
going to be exploring what makes a great pianist.
Right?
And the interesting twist here is our main source is a blog post inspired by a TV show about a chef.
Ah, well, that's an interesting combination.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a blog called The Cross-Eyed Pianist,
Okay.
and they took this idea of non-negotiables from this show called The Bear,
hmm
where the chef's trying to, get a Michelin star,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and they apply these principles to the world of music.
Oh, that's really cool. I mean, I think that there's a lot of parallels there
Yeah.
when you think about like the discipline and the creativity.
Yeah, and the precision
Right.
that goes into both.
Absolutely.
So are you ready to dive into these pianist non-negotiables?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so first up is change the menu every day.
Okay.
This one's all about keeping your practice routine fresh, right? We've all been there, hitting that wall where practice feels like a chore.
Oh, for sure. I mean, everybody gets bored doing the same thing every single day,
Right.
and our brains, they really thrive on that novelty, right?
Uh-huh.
So if you're always playing the same scales or the same exercises over and over again,
Yeah.
you're going to get bored. You're going to hit a plateau.
You're just not going to grow.
You're not going to grow. Yeah.
So switching things up is key, but what are some practical ways that
Yeah.
people can actually change the menu, so to speak?
Well, you can think about it like a chef who's experimenting with different flavor combinations, right?
Okay.
So one day you might focus on technical exercises,
hmm
right? Like your scales, your arpeggios.
Okay.
The next day you could work on sight reading.
Mm.
Another day maybe you explore a new genre or a new composer.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so you're constantly keeping your brain engaged.
Yeah, it's like cross-training for your fingers.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
All right, and speaking of expanding your skills, the next non-negotiable is no repeat ingredients.
I love that one.
Yeah.
It's really all about like constantly adding new skills and repertoire
Okay.
to your toolbox, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, don't just rely on your greatest hits.
Yeah.
Branch out and challenge yourself.
So if I'm mainly a classical pianist,
Yeah,
you're saying I should maybe dabble in jazz
exactly.
or try some contemporary music.
Yeah, maybe even branch out into a different instrument or,
Yeah, wow.
vocal work or something like that,
Okay.
just to kind of broaden your horizons.
So really broadening that skill set,
Yeah,
not limiting yourself to just one.
exactly. Think of it like a chef who's, mastered French cuisine,
Right.
but then decides to explore, the world of Thai or Indian cooking.
Okay.
It broadens their skills.
Mhm.
It deepens their understanding of different flavor profiles
Yeah.
and makes them a much more versatile and well-rounded chef.
I can see how that applies to music for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So non-negotiable number 3 is know your shot.
All right.
That one's a little bit more
A little bit more direct.
direct, yeah, but I'm guessing it's more than just knowing your scales and chords.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's about understanding, the fundamentals of music theory inside and out.
Okay.
Think of it like a builder, understanding,
Yeah.
the structural integrity of a building,
Okay.
right? You can't just slap things together.
Right. You need to know how it all works
Yeah,
together.
exactly.
So it's not just playing the notes.
Yeah.
It's understanding how they work together.
Right.
How harmony and counterpoint create that magic of music.
It's like the language.
Yeah.
You need to know the language to be able to speak it fluently.
So a deeper understanding of harmony could help you improvise more freely.
Absolutely, yeah.
Analyze complex scores.
Yeah.
Maybe even compose your own music.
Exactly, yeah. All those things become a lot easier.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have respect tradition.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is especially relevant in the classical music world.
Oh, absolutely. Learning from the masters who came before us is crucial. It's about understanding, the historical context,
Yeah.
the established techniques, the evolution of musical styles.
But at the same time, the article also talks about not being afraid to break the rules.
Right.
So how do we balance that? How do we respect tradition
Yeah.
while still finding our own artistic voice?
Well, it's funny because the blog actually says something about sometimes you can use the pedal in Bach.
Okay.
It's a playful way of saying it's about understanding the why behind the rules.
Okay.
So you can break them intentionally and creatively.
Okay, so it's not about just blindly following, but it's about understanding why those rules are there
Exactly. Yeah.
and using that as a foundation for your own expression.
Yeah, it's like knowing the rules so well that you can bend them or break them
Yeah,
in a way that's still musical and effective.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, non-negotiable number 5, push boundaries.
Okay.
I have a feeling this one's all about getting outside your comfort zone.
You got it. It's about exploring new techniques, new genres, new musical ideas that challenge you.
Yeah.
Things that make you maybe a little bit uncomfortable at first,
Yeah.
but ultimately help you grow.
Yeah, because I imagine that's where a lot of the growth happens, right?
Absolutely.
When you finally, like, conquer something
Yeah,
that you didn't think you could do before.
it's incredibly rewarding. And it's not just about like the sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
It's the journey of like pushing yourself beyond, your perceived limits
Yeah.
and expanding your capabilities and discovering new facets of like your own musicality.
I bet you could apply that to so many areas of life, not just music.
Oh, absolutely.
It's that feeling of conquering a challenge.
Yeah, that's universal.
Yeah, I think so too.
Hmm.
So it really is amazing how, like, these principles can apply to, like, you know, so many different things.
Yeah.
But let's get back to the piano for a sec.
Okay.
Non-negotiable. Number 6 is technique, technique, technique.
Mm.
I feel like this one's pretty straightforward. You need the chops to play the music right.
Yeah. Building a strong technical foundation is absolutely essential. It's like an athlete, you know, training their body to perform at its peak.
So we're talking hours of scales, arpeggios.
Exactly. Yeah. All those things.
Those fun exercises.
All the fun stuff. Yeah. But it's what gives you that control and that precision.
Yeah.
And the ability to really express yourself without limitations.
But there's got to be a balance, right? Because I've definitely seen pianists who are, like, technically brilliant,
Yeah.
but their playing lacks soul.
Right.
It's like they're so focused on hitting the right notes that they
Yeah.
forget to, like, connect with the music.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can get so caught up in the technical aspects
Yeah.
that we lose sight of the bigger picture, like the emotion, the storytelling,
Yeah.
the heart of the music.
Yeah. Which brings us to the next non-negotiable. It's not about you.
Ooh, that's a good one.
This one hits home for me. I think we can all get a little too
Yeah.
wrapped up in our own egos.
For sure. For sure. This is a really valuable reminder for any artist,
Yeah.
but especially, I think, for musicians.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it's because it's so easy to get caught up in, the need for validation and applause
Right?
and recognition,
Mm.
and we forget that the true purpose of music
Yeah.
is to connect with others,
Mm.
to share emotions, to tell stories.
So it's about, like, detaching from the ego,
Yeah.
letting the music speak for itself.
Yeah, and being open to feedback,
Yeah.
and recognizing that we can always learn and grow from others.
That makes me think of, like, all the great musicians who have had mentors and teachers that have really, like, shaped their careers.
Absolutely. Even the most accomplished musicians can benefit from,
Yeah. Yeah.
insights and guidance of others.
It's so valuable to have that outside perspective.
For sure. For sure.
Okay, on to non-negotiable. Number 8. Less is more. I like that one. This one really resonates with me, and not just in music.
Yeah. Yeah, the power of minimalism, I think, is often underestimated.
Yeah.
You know, in music, restraint can be far more impactful than like excessive flourishes or overplaying.
Sometimes silence speaks louder than words.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, it's about letting the music breathe,
Yeah.
allowing space for the notes to resonate, for
Yeah.
the emotions to sink in.
But isn't there, like, a time and a place for, like, virtuosity?
Sure.
You know, those dazzling displays of technique?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about context and intention, right?
Okay.
Sometimes peace calls for those grand gestures,
Yeah.
but other times a simple understated phrase can be far more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's about knowing when to hold back and when to let loose.
So being really intentional
Yes, very intentional.
about the
Well,
choices that you're making as a musician.
yeah, and understanding the emotional impact you want to create.
That's a really good point. Okay, details matter.
Okay.
I feel like this is all about those little nuances that take a performance from good to great.
You're right on the mark. It's about paying close attention to, your dynamics, your articulation, your phrasing, all those little details that bring the music to life.
It's like the difference between a rough sketch and a masterpiece.
Exactly. Yeah, the details are what add that depth and texture.
So it's like being mindful of every note,
Yeah.
every gesture, every, like, subtle variation in tempo and dynamics.
It's about honing your listening skills,
Okay.
developing a keen awareness of your own playing,
Yeah.
and constantly striving for refinement.
I bet that translates to other areas of life too, right?
No, I think so.
Like
Absolutely.
if you're writing a report, designing a website,
Mhm.
even having a conversation,
Yeah, paying attention to the details can make all the difference.
it's about taking pride in your work.
Yeah,
Striving for excellence in everything you do.
absolutely.
Non-negotiable. Number 10, confidence and competence.
Okay.
Those two kind of go hand in hand, I feel like.
They absolutely do. True confidence comes from competence, from knowing that you've put in the work and you've mastered the material.
So it's not about being arrogant or cocky.
Right.
It's about having that quiet assurance
Exactly.
that comes from knowing you're prepared.
Yeah, you know you've got this.
Yeah, and I imagine that confidence helps you like take risks and push boundaries,
Absolutely.
knowing that you have those skills to back it up.
It's a beautiful cycle.
Yeah.
Confidence leads to greater artistic freedom.
Yeah.
And that freedom allows you to explore new possibilities and grow as a musician.
All right, we've reached the final non-negotiable.
Okay.
Constantly evolve through passion and creativity.
I love that one.
This feels like the grand finale, like
Yeah.
the overarching theme that ties it all together.
It's about embracing a lifelong journey
Yeah.
of learning growth and evolution.
Yeah, it's about never settling for mediocrity.
Right.
Always striving to be better.
Hmm.
This one really speaks to me, and not just in the context of music.
Yeah.
I think it applies to anything you're passionate about.
That's
Whether it's your work, your hobbies, your
Mhm.
relationships.
Yeah, it's about having that fire in your belly,
Mm-hmm.
that insatiable curiosity to explore new horizons
Yeah.
and push your boundaries.
And letting your passion fuel your creativity.
Exactly.
And using that creativity to transform yourself and the world around you.
It's a beautiful thing to witness.
It is.
Someone who's truly passionate about their craft
Yeah.
and constantly seeking new ways to express themselves
Mm-hmm.
and connect with others.
I love that. So we started with a blog post about pianists, and now it's like life lessons,
Yeah. It is kind of wild, right?
It's amazing.
It just shows you that, like, the pursuit of mastery, whether it's music or cooking or anything,
Mm-hmm.
it shares some fundamental elements.
It really does. And I've been thinking as we've been going through these non-negotiables, like
Yeah.
how they apply to my own life, not just as someone who loves music,
Right.
but like in everything I do.
I think that's the beauty of these concepts, right?
Yeah.
They transcend the specific field
Mm-hmm.
and they offer insights into, like, learning, creativity, personal development.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So
Mm-hmm.
out of all these non-negotiables,
Okay.
is there one that really like spoke to you?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
They're all so valuable.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it's not about you really resonated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's just such a powerful reminder to stay humble,
Yeah.
to focus on the bigger picture,
Mm-hmm.
let go of the ego.
Yeah. I can see that for me, constantly evolve through passion and creativity.
Oh, yeah.
That one really stood out.
That's a good one.
Like it's a call to action,
Mhm.
Never stop learning, never stop growing.
Keep pushing.
Keep pushing. Yeah. And I think that's a perfect note to end on.